Hey everybody, we had another fulfillment of the 2012 Dream series, and again in the same order the dreams were posted. So to recap real quick, this dream posted to YouTube on June 5th, 2012 of a collision in the sky over the middle of the Pacific Ocean was fulfilled on January 14th, 2016. 12 days later, a rancher in Burns, Oregon was shot and killed, which was a fulfillment of this vision posted on July 2nd, 2012. Then 12 days after the cowboy was killed, the Super Bowl aired, which seemed to be related to this vision posted on July 30th, 2012 of a football game. And again, 12 days after the Super Bowl, we had a fulfillment of the grass fire and convenience store evacuation, which was a dream posted on July 25th, 2012. So the first four fulfillments this year occurred in roughly the same order, exactly 12 days apart. But I noticed a different pattern developing between the second and fourth fulfillment, the cowboy vision and the grass fire dream. There were exactly 23 days between the postings in 2012, and there were exactly 23 days between the 2016 fulfillments of those dreams. And that led to the March 12th watch, as you can see in this video I posted on February 27th. March 12th was 23 days after the grass fire, and on that date there was a fulfillment of this dream posted on July 26, 2012. That dream consisted of two major points, a flood and Jupiter's position in the sky. In the first part of the dream, I saw a person walking through water on a black and white checkered floor, and at the time I thought the black and white checkered floor may be an apartment complex in California, since I personally had seen a lot of black and white checkered floors in those old apartment buildings. However, I recently realized that the black and white checkered floor is a well-known floor design in Masonic lodges. So it's possible that I was seeing in the dream not the flooding of an apartment complex, but the flooding of a Masonic lodge. Well, Masonic lodges are all over the United States, but in light of the flooding that was happening in the South on March 12th, I did a simple internet search to find out if any Masonic lodges were flooded on March 12th, and I found a Facebook post by DeQuincy Masonic Lodge that was posted on March 12th, stating that many Masonic brothers were displaced by the flooding in Louisiana. So I searched for Louisiana flooding and found the Louisiana Aerial Heliocam, which posted several aerial photos of the recent flooding. And as you can see, the very first photo on their page is of a football field surrounded by floodwater. And the interesting thing about this is that the football field from the air was one of the visions in this series. In fact, it's the very next vision that I posted right after the dream of the flood in 2012. And when I actually saw that vision of the football field from the air, I remember the angle that I looked down on it in the vision, and it was the same angle that this camera took of the football field from the air. So in this aerial footage in Louisiana of the flooding, the name on the football field that they show says Rebels. And it turns out that is a high school football field in Monroe, Louisiana. And there was a video posted to YouTube of the floodwaters in Monroe on March 12th. So you can see on this map here, the heaviest amount of rain fell in region number 10, which is where Monroe is located. And another photo on the Louisiana Aerial Heliocam shows the Office of Motor Vehicles, which I found on Google Maps, and it shows the regions of Monroe that were flooded. And there are two Masonic lodges in Monroe, according to Google Maps, and one of them is permanently closed. I don't know if it's closed because of the flooding or some other reason, but you can see the other lodge is located near the 165 freeway and the number 20 freeway. And you can see on this map that the locations of both Masonic lodges in that town were impacted by the flooding. So this flooding in Monroe, Louisiana occurred on our watch date, March 12th. An aerial photo of a flooded football field was taken from the air, which was part of another vision in that same series. And two Masonic lodges were flooded in the area, which have black and white checkered floors, just like I saw in the dream in 2012. So the first part of the dream, the flood on the black and white checkered floor, seems to have been fulfilled on March 12th, and the second part of the dream involved Jupiter's position in the sky next to some unknown object. And as we discussed in a previous video, on March 12th, Jupiter reached the same general area of the sky that Comet Elenin reached on March 11th, 2011, the date of the last axis shift. So both parts of this dream were fulfilled on March 12th, 2016, exactly 23 days after the fulfillment of the Grassfire dream. And both dreams were posted in 2012, one right after the other in the same chronological order. So again, I mean, what is going on here? We had 3 fulfillments in January, each 12 days apart: the Sky Collision, the Shot Cowboy, and the Super Bowl. Then in February and March, the pattern switched to 23 days. It's more precise, and it's fulfilling the posted 2012 dreams not only in the same chronological order, but one right after the other, and each exactly 23 days apart. This playlist right here is entitled Dreams, Visions, and Synchronicities right now, and it is every single dream or vision that I've had since I've been on YouTube. There are no dreams or visions that I ever posted to YouTube that are not in that playlist right there. I have 2 different playlists. One is called Dreams and Visions and Synchronicities, and the other one is called Proof the Visions Come True. So they're 2 different playlists. This right here is the playlist that has every single dream or vision that I ever posted to YouTube. And so you can see that these dreams have been fulfilled one right after the other just recently, in order, every 23 days since the cowboy was shot. And the football vision is the very next dream posted after the flood dream. So in a previous video, we noticed that the vision of the football field from the air seemed to represent a time period moving away from the football stadium, which may represent the time period after the Super Bowl, since the Super Bowl occurred on the 12-day patterns in January and February. So we could be talking about a time period after the Super Bowl. And it's interesting that this photo of a football field from the air was posted on the very date specifically relating to this dream series, while also being a part of the fulfillment of the dream that was posted right before the football vision in 2012. So I don't know whether or not this fulfillment pattern is going to continue, but 23 days after March 12th lands on April 4th. So I'll be watching to see what occurs, if anything, on that date, as well as the watch that's coming up next week, which relates to both Jupiter's position and the sign of 2012 that occurred 3.5 years ago. By the way, the 12-day patterns seem to have ended at the Grassfire fulfillment. So at this point, the fulfillments are occurring in 23-day intervals, but that may change. I don't know. Also, I just wanted to point out that the 2300 evenings and mornings that ended on March 16th do not appear to have been related to the recent fulfillments of Daniel 9. But as we discussed in a recent video, the 2300 evenings and mornings of Daniel 8 may start at the final time of trouble, which the Bible says will begin at the meteorite impact, because we're told the final time of trouble is 3.5 years, and the 2300 evenings and mornings can represent 1150 total days, which is equal to roughly 3 years. So the next potential 23-day period, from what I can tell at this point, may end in May of 2019. And we're currently in the time frame 3 years prior to that, in March, April, and May of 2016. So that means if May of 2019 is the end of the 2300 evenings and mornings, then obviously 2300 evenings and mornings, or roughly 3 years before that, would be May of 2016. So again, 2300 evenings and mornings can represent 1150 total days, which is roughly 3 years. 3 years before May of 2019 is right now, and that is also the same basic time period that we're told is the final time of trouble, that the beast will continue after the meteorite hits. So as you already know, we're currently in a huge watch. So for more information on any of that, you can refer to the playlist Bible's Countdown to the Meteorite and Rescue that's linked here and also below this video on YouTube. And I'll also link below this video the Dreams and Visions playlists. Thank you to everyone who makes this work possible. I hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you next week.